What happens after death? We're all familiar with the phenomenon of near-death experiences, where individuals float down a tunnel towards the light and meet beings on the other side. Often there is a life review and then the individual ends up back in their body to report their experience at a later date. But what happens to those individuals who do die and pass over? I've been interested in the writings of Marshall Vian Summers, whose topics include everything from climate change to aliens. He's also written on the after-death process. What follows are quotes from Marshall's writings. You will be able to glimpse your life, perhaps momentarily, after you leave it, but then you will have to pass into another dimension. You do not have a body anymore, but you still have a mind for a while. But it is a different kind of state of mind, you see, because without the body, the mind is not functioning in the same capacity. So much of your mind is taken up with managing the body and directing the body, and this involves plans and activities, memories. A great deal of your mental abilities and your mental energy is taken up with managing the body, and planning for the body's actions. When you're outside the physical realm, 90% of your thinking is just irrelevant and has no context. And in this new dimension, depending on your state of mind when you died, depending upon your awareness of your life beyond your mind and your body, you may or may not have an encounter with a member of your spiritual family. And you will awaken in their presence, and you will be like, wow, where have I been? And you will all recognize each other, even though you will not have form. You will be back where you were before, in an entirely different kind of realm, whom you have been with for a long time. And they will give you the chance to choose what you want to do to continue your service to life in the physical universe. The ability to choose is important because it will give you a greater opportunity for self-knowledge in your next experience of living in the physical reality, and you may have a much greater assignment with greater possibilities. If you are not trying to make amends now, you can be assigned a greater task, a greater opportunity. Generally, people return to the same world, but this is not always the case. Some members of your spiritual family are in this world at this time. Some of them are in other worlds, and some of them are not in physical reality at all. You have come into the world for your own advancement and for the advancement of your group. As your group advances and expands, you will be able to join with other groups and then, like rivers joining with one another, into greater and greater flowing bodies of water. You will find your way home to God, which is the source and destiny of all relationships. You are part of a growing body of individuals. As your group grows, you can join with other groups. In this way, the universe returns to wholeness and oneness. Then the puzzle of many pieces in your world and the puzzle of many more pieces in the universe at large come together to make one grand picture. So there is no judgment day here, where you go before the great judge and your life is evaluated. And if you are good, you get to pass through and go to heaven. And if you are bad, you are sent down below into some hellish or terrible state. That is a complete fantasy. That is used by religious institutions to make people obedient, or to scare them into good behaviour, or to threaten them with punishment, endless punishment in some cases. But that is not what happens at all. There are many beings who are waiting to come into physical existence and are choosing conditions that you here on earth would not want to choose for yourself, because they recognise that the opportunity for them to claim their spiritual heritage, to recall their spiritual family while they are in the world, would be more optimum in those environments. For if you are born into wealth and comfort and splendour, the seduction of all those things is so great that it represents a real disadvantage to a person who wants to come into the world to bring their true spiritual gifts to light. The wealthy are far more deluded than the poor. They are far more distracted. They are far more seduced. They have far greater attachments to things of little value than do the poor. So many people choose poverty as a greater opportunity. This does not justify poverty, for poverty is still extremely difficult and even horrible in many cases. So there is no justification here for the state of people's existence in life. But the spiritual work goes on everywhere, within the ranks of the rich, within the ranks of those who want to be rich, in the ranks of those who are poor, and even in the ranks of those who are desperate. The spiritual work goes on everywhere. This is why people who are generally poorer are more religious than those who are generally richer, because they feel the importance of it. They recognise the limits of their physical existence. They are far more reliant on spiritual power within themselves. Perhaps they are more superstitious, They are also more reverent as a whole. Once you are a complete being in physical reality, then this mind that keeps you connected to life at this level is no longer part of your experience. Now you are functioning at the level of pure knowledge, and your individuality becomes the light in the universe. Now you shine like a star and do not float like a pebble. Then the need to enter form, the need to go through change, the need to make amends, even the need to make specific contributions is outgrown. And you're able to enter into the greater panorama of creation that is beyond the physical reality. Once you realize you have a life beyond your mind and your body, you will begin to experience that you're in the world for a purpose, and this purpose holds the greatest meaning for your existence, and also the reason why you are searching for relationships. It represents clearly the deeper motivations that are behind all things that you seek and do in your life. This is the journey before you now. This is why God has presented the steps to knowledge. This is why there is a new message to humanity in the world. This is why there is now great clarification, for humanity must unite to a greater degree to face the great waves of change that are coming to the world and its future within a great community of intelligent life. Therefore, your understanding of spirituality and religion, your understanding of life, your understanding of your own real purpose, meaning and direction must be greatly clarified to you now. And that which is true in all the world's religions must be emphasized now, which is that you are sent to the world for a purpose, and this life is an opportunity for you to experience and to express that purpose. And this purpose is not something that you create, but that you must create a life that will allow this purpose to emerge within your awareness, and that you are here to serve a world in need and thus be served in return.